So we are discussing about the SAP upgrade using the sum tool, how to perform the upgrade here, right? So I see it got stopped at the checks phase. In the checks phase, as I mentioned, the mainly in the checks phase, it will check the free space at application level, DB level, any free space, and also it will check the if any open failed update records or any MCX queues or anything, it will check it out. So as usual, as expected, you see here, there is one background job got failed here. So that is related to the, yeah. So there is a open, there are the some open update records got found here. There are the open update records are got found here. So I thought I asked you guys to do the some preparation activities on this step, but I think no one so showing any interest on this area. I understand. That's fine. So I can do it myself itself. So yeah, just click on the next button. Why? Because this step is very important here. Otherwise, in the pre-processing step, that is the blocker, it will be stopped. In the pre-processing, it will be stopped. So there is a one phase will come, there it will stop the sum tool will stop it. There mandatory you need to do the cleanup of the failed update records which are there in the SM13. So that we have to clean up here. So these are all the things we have to clean up. And also any queues, SMQ1, SMQ2, any open queues are there, those things we have to do the cleanup here, right? That's what I asked you to. But see here in the pre-processing step, it is got failed. So there are the 13 update records found. So it's not progressing here, right? So in the last 2 days onwards, I'm saying so you need to perform the pre-steps means no one is performing. That's fine. So if you don't have any interest, just leave it out. I will perform it myself. So just deleting the entries here. But because those are the open entries, just deleted, right? Just click on the next button. Then it will progress the next set of activities here. Right now it's in the pre-processing. Now we are in the pre-processing step here. In the pre-processing, so it will start creating the shadow system. It will log the development environment. Now it will log the development environment here. So why? Because for the shadow system creation, I will explain it here what exactly will happen in the sum tool. So now it see, so now the development system is locked. Then there are the open repairs found. This is also one of the prerequisite activity I told you. So we need to clear the old update records, any inactive objects, any unreleased transports which are there in the SE01. We need to at least release it or we have to unlock it. So we can unlock it from the SE06, unlock these things. Just to go to the unlock, then we can unlock the objects here, right? So whatever the transport requests are there, we can unlock it here. So so that it will be continued to the next step here. Then 271 done. So it's unlocked here. Just click on the next button, then it will proceed further here. This is the what issues we identified. So we have drafted these issues during the pre-steps only. So that time, so these and all the steps like open update records, unlocked objects, so inactive objects. So these and all the things we checked, right? So it is processing here. So now what exactly happening here now? So if I give the total summary of the entire sum upgrade here, so this is the your up this is your host. Okay, this is your host Windows operating system here. Here you have the NW1 system is there here. NW1 system is there. This is the database here. In the database level, you have the in the database level you have the repository, source repository, and these are the database application tables we have here. Why? Because in the database level we have the repository, source repository here. So that we will call it as the SRC repository, original repository. So then these are the application tables here. Application, so tables here, application tables here. So application tables here. So this is the DB. This is the SAP. So SAP means SAP will run on the kernel. That's we will call it as the SAP. So original, your NW1, original SAP system here, original SAP system here, right? So then this is running on the so database. It's running fine. So okay, it is connected and it is running fine here. So on fine day, you started the sum tool to upgrade the SAP systems here. There is a sum tool here. Then this is the host agent. There is a host agent also here at operating system level, right? This is the sum tool. This is the host agent here, HA host agent. Okay, HA host agent here. HA host agent here. So what you are going to do now? So sum tool, right? So sum you have registered into sum into the host agent, then host agent you connected to the your SAP system here, right? So sum tool will not directly connect to the your SAP system via host agent only. It will connect to the your SAP system here as part of your upgrade here, right? So you are doing the upgrade, right? Using the sum tool. This is the download directory. Just assume this is the download directory where you kept the files and everything here, download directory, which means the patches folder at operating system level, patches folder. This is the operating system level here. So then some will connect to the this patches folder, then it will do the patches folder and it will read it, it will extract it and it will keep it to the file system level and everything here, right? So then so extraction phase, it will check the all the softwares, it will check the your system status components and patches are valid or not. It will extract the patches, it will keep into the usr sap trans eps indirectly, it will keep the all the files there, right? That will happen in the extraction phase. In the configuration phase you select like in the configuration phase you select like uptime how many process, downtime how many process are there, that the processing parameters, inputs, so those things and everything. And checks phase, you given that it will check the free space at application level, free space at database level, any inconsistency items here, that will cross check it out, all those things here, right? So during the scenario selection here, you selected as a shadow system standard. There are the three scenarios here, right? One is the single system, second one is the standard system, third one is the so advanced downtime optimized. So the advanced here. Single means there is no shadow system here. What will happen? Some directly will upgrade your SAP system, some will directly upgrade SAP system on the main system, it will upgrade it here. So there is a longer downtime here. But if you select the scenario selection standard, so we selected as a standard only here, right? We selected the standard only, the standard option only we selected here. In the standard option, what will happen here? In the standard option, what will happen here? Some will create the shadow instance, some will create the one shadow system will be created here. Shadow system will be created, which means same as like in the primary system, some will create the shadow system here, right? Here the shadow system will be created by the sum tool here, right? Same as is it will create the one shadow system, shadow SAP system will be created here. So that will happen in the pre-processing phase. So NW1, the shadow system will be created here, right? That will happen here. Then some will create the one repository at database level. Why? Because to run this shadow system, you require the DB, right? Then here we have the SHD repository, shadow repository here, DB repository, shadow DB repository, it will create it here. Then this shadow system will connect to the your case here. This shadow system will connect to the this repository. Application tables are common for all, but repository only it will create the one empty repository, one empty system will be created. Maybe we see during the extraction phase only. So there the some data is moving. This some kernel shadow kernel is moving from so original ECC to the sorry original exe to the shadow exe folder. It is moving. Why? Because for the shadow system creation. Then what will happen? The kernel files and everything will be copied here. Then repository will be created. Then here one step we will get like lock the development environment. So extraction configuration checks, nothing will happen in the system. So starting with the pre-processing, now it will come the step like lock the your development environment, development repository. So which means development repository will be locked, which means from this phase onwards developers cannot perform any changes in developers. Only in the development side they cannot perform any developments. Why? Because here shadow system is created with empty, then so it will lock the development so repository, then it will copy the development repository objects from the main. Means it will clone the entries original repository to the shadow repository. It will copy the entries here. While copying the entries from here to here, the shadow repository. Why? Because there is no data. Shadow means what? Exactly same as is data, as is version, everything should be in the shadow system as well. For that reason, the source repository data is copying to the shadow repository. Source repository data copying to the shadow repository, that is happening here, right? That is happening here. Shadow repository, it is copying here. So then while it is copying to the shadow repository, your source repository will be locked. That's what we got the phase in the before, right? In the sum tool. So now what will happen here? Now it will clone, DB clone will happen in the peep processing, which means it's cloning the table from the original to shadow series from
So
the
your
repository
voice
based
is
on the
not clear.
hello. Hello. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is some slowness, I think. Uh, think it's fine now. Okay. So thing is, what will happen here, right? So uh, it will copy the entries from source repository to shadow repository. It will copy the entries here. It will copy the entries here, right? Source to shadow, it will copy. While copying the entries, your repository will be locked here. Then once the entries are copied, then so some will connect to the your shadow system here. Some will connect to the your shadow system here. Some will connect to the shadow system, so that via host agent it will connect to the shadow system here. Some will start upgrading the shadow system first. Till then your main system is up and running. It is available for the users. No impact on the main system here. But here the sum will connect to the shadow system. So some will connect to the shadow system here. Then all the patches will be applied to the shadow system. Why? Because here data, once the data cloning is copied, so then once the data is copied from here to here, then it will start updating the shadow system first. Why? Because since you opted a shadow system, then it will up the shadow system here. Okay, so shadow system will be upgraded fast. So that will happen in the pre-processing. In the pre-processing, it will lock the original repository, copy the table entries from the source repository to the target shadow repository. Then shadow will be started. Shadow will be upgraded. Whatever the patches you have there, all the patches will be upgraded to the shadow system. Then at end of the shadow system phase, we will get the one phase. Once the shadow is upgraded, then here we need to perform the SPDD adjustments. We need to log into the 000. then shadow system here. So then SPDD adjustments we have to perform here. We means the developer. So you can ask developer to log into the 000, can create the user in the shadow, then they can do the adjustments. SPDD means adjustments of the data dictionary objects like tables, data elements, domains, views. Those are called the data dictionary objects here, right? They will perform in the shadow system, right? Once that is done, then what will happen here? Once that is done here in the system, then next phase is called the execution phase. In the execution phase, what will happen here? So because shadow is upgraded, shadow is updated with the latest patches and everything. We can log in, they will perform it. Then the next phase we will get like a execution here. In the execution phase, what will happen? This is the downtime phase. Execution phase also called the downtime phase here. Here, your main SAP system will be stopped here. Your main SAP system will be stopped status here. Why? Because the data, whatever the data is there here, the data will reverse copy back to the original system, original repository. Data will reverse copy to the original repository, and also the application tables will be upgraded here. The application tables will be upgraded to the here. Then this phase is called, this one will happen in the, why? Because while copying the data back to from, why? Because here same to same it is there. Then here all the patches are upgraded here. Here they are the higher version of the tables, higher version of the reports elements are there. This is the higher compared to this one. This is higher. Why? Because the shadow is upgraded to the latest versions. Then it is higher. Then in the during the execution phase, what will happen? That we can run it in the weekends. That will have to happen. So your main SAP system will be stopped here. Why? Because while SAP is starting, we cannot copy the programs and reports, right? Then SAP will be stopped here. The data will copy back to the your source repository. Then application tables will be upgraded. Application tables will be upgraded to the latest versions here. Application tables will be upgraded to the latest versions here. That's what it will be happen here, right? During these two steps means data copy back to the shadow repository to the main and application tables, we have the downtime here, right? So this one we can optimize it here. If you go into the advanced mode, if you go to the advanced mode here, then number of process, if you increase it, number of process will copy the data from the shadow repository to the main repository. Then this application tables upgrade will be optimized, so we can reduce it. This time is called the downtime phase, downtime. In this downtime, why downtime means your original system is stopping here. Then your system is down means it's downtime, right? It's a downtime for the users. Then during the downtime, what will happen? The data copy will happen to the shadow to main and application tables will be upgraded. These two phases will happen during the downtime phase. Then immediately post-processing, in the post-processing steps, so all the cleanup, then shadow repository will be deleted, shadow file systems will be deleted, shadow SAP system will be deleted, everything. Why? Because once the data copied to from here to here, everything is done, then why we need shadow system again, shadow SAP system again? So shadow will be deleted here. So that's what happening in the post processing. Then after that, so you can, the people will log into the main system, main client, they will perform the SPAU adjustments on the, so in the main system here. The main system SPAU means, so repository objects like programs, reports, screens, function models, those are called the SPAU. So correctly processing the SPDD, SPAU transactions are, it will prevent the system errors, ensure the smooth functionality after the upgrade. So this will be done by the your development team. So if they perform correctly, then so why? Because we need to involve the development team. It's not the one and only one team here. We are basis team. So we have to do the technical upgrade, that objects and reports will be done by the the code correction that will be done by the, that they have to do the adjustments. Then they will log into the shadow system, they will do the adjustments of the SPDD before going to the main phase. Then they will do it in the shadow. Then after that, the shadow data will be copied to the main system during the downtime phase. So SPDD, SPAU, when we have to move it here, right? That is the one of the thing here, right? So SPDD, SPAU, it will list the all the modified objects that transported to the current system here, right? If any standard tables have been modified, you must adjust it after comparing the versions and everything, right? if the object if the adjusted object is reset to the original, then active version is replaced by the original version saved in the modification logs and everything here, right? So this is the most critical transactions during the SAP upgrade. SPDD, SPAU are the most important thing for the developers here, right? That's why you need to involve the developers, whether that program is required or not, they will do the adjustments here, right? That is the main thing. So this is what it will happen in the entire some upgrade, some processing that will it will happen here. This is the entire some upgrade overview. So starting the sum tool, then some phases, then what will happen, where the shadow system created. Now you got to understand. In the pre-processing, shadow system will be created, data will be copied from the shadow to main to shadow, then shadow will be upgraded in the pre-processing. Then SPDD also we have to do it in the shadow system only in the pre-processing. Once the pre-processing is done, then in the main system execution, the main system original system will be stopped. Data will reverse copy to the main system. Application tables will be upgraded. This will what happen here. So this is the entire some overview section here. So if I talk about the most important points here, where to perform the SPDD in the shadow system 000 client, we have to perform the SPDD. Where to perform the SPAU? SPAU we have to perform in the after the upgrade is done. You have the 14 days time. Within the 14 days time, you can perform the SPAU. But SPDD immediately you have to perform before going to the downtime activity. Where to perform the SPAU? In the main system after the upgrade. Before going to the downtime, you have to perform in the shadow system here. Is what will happen if you lose the if you don't perform it, the customer changes, whatever the customer changes are there, modified objects, the modified versions will be lost. We lost the modified version here, right? We will lost the modified versions in the systems here. That's what it will happen in the systems here. The modified versions we will lost the modified versions here. That's what it will happen in the systems, right? So this is the sum overview here. This type of questions they may ask you. How to start the sum tool? Sum start space config ghost agent. Then so first what will happen in the pre-processing? What will happen in the execution? How many phases are there? So then so where the system will be down in the execution phase. So will up to pre-processing system will be main system will be available for the users. They can do whatever they want. This is the so that type of questions you may get it out in the during the interview point of time and the technical discussions. Okay. When the shadow will be deleted, after the shadow upgraded is done, then during the so post processing or in the end of the executions itself, the shadow will be deleted once the data is copied. Right? So, sir, way to check the logs. Log file checking, we have to check the log files in the, we have to check the log files in the some screen itself. We can check the log files here. Some screen itself, we can check the log files here. You can see, so it is copying, still it is cloning the tables and everything here, right? So, way to check the log files and everything means, so we can in the sum screen itself, we can check the logs. So the logs, the cloning of the logs. So cloning the logs. So whatever the phases, whatever the objects which is copying, see all the objects are copying from the original to the shadow repository. The data is getting copied here, right? It is running here. So then these are the tasks, these are the logs. Then there is a some utilities. Here we can find out the in the some utilities, we can find out the timelines in each phase, how much time is taken. Go to the sum analysis here. So here you can find out the, so what is the version, like configurations, what you have done it, like what patches you are going to upgrade it here, that each and everything here. Then in the initial phase, how much time is taken? 4 seconds. Then 6 minutes extraction, configuration is the 11 minutes. Then checks phase is the 8 minutes. Then pre-processing, still it is running. So then what is the 11 minutes? 11 minutes means here, what is the each and long running phase here? You can see the timelines of the each and every execution. It will be displayed that information that is called the some utilities we can find out here. Some so utilities we can find out the analysis and everything here, right? So this is the database versions, so database statistics. So how much data inserting into the DB level. This is called the some analysis phase here. right? So then some parameters. So normally during the configuration phase, we have given that during the uptime, this many process. So now if you observe it, system is getting hung due to the high number of process means you can decrease it by changing these values. You can decrease in online itself. You can change the values. Then so it will be processed. If you observe it here, lot of resources are there. Some is running very slower. Then you can increase the process as well. If you increase the number of process, these values, then it will be completed very soonly means very immediately it will complete here. This is the some parameters here, some utilities. It will be there in the some utilities here, right? This is the very important here. So and also up to pre-processing, anytime we can do the reset. Reset means we can go back, reset and everything. Once the execution is started, we cannot roll back the some process. Whatever we have done it now till now, end of the pre-processing, then we can do the reset. Reset means we can cancel the process and everything here. But once the pre-pro execution is started, definitely we need to complete that execution and everything here. That is the one of the important things here. So once the sum is started due to some unknown reason, when you are restarting, you can resume from where it got stopped. That is one of the important things. Suppose like in the pre-processing in this step, some got stopped due to some error. You fixed that error. Again, if you restart it, then if you resume it, then it will start from where it got stopped. It will start from this phase, this percentage onwards. It won't start from the scratch again. Okay, that is one of the major advantages here. So this is the entire sum screen, some overview, what will happen in the systems, and this is what, right? So now, so log files at operating system level, it is available. You can also check the operating system level if you go to the in the network path, maybe online. So where it is the host name, here you can use the in this network path, you can log in, you can check the so log files from there also. Instead of checking from here, go to the logs and checking here, you can also go to the network path. So there also you can check the all the so informations and everything here. All the informations and everything you can also check it out here. So here what you have to do, you need to just to log in means connect to the network path here. So USR, so SAP, SID, sum, then there is a above, there is a log folder here. There is a log folder. In this log folder, you can see the logs. So which means you can also check from here. You can also check the log files in the OS level, some above log here. And the shadow system related binaries. So above, some above exe. This is the kernel. Shadow related kernel will be there here, right? Some above system. This is a shadow file system, shadow related SAP system here. C, sys, and D instance number. This is the shadow related shadow SAP instance here. Compared to the main instance, the shadow system will be created in this folder. So it's prepared. All the file systems and everything is filled here, right? Under the sum above system, you have the shadow profiles where the shadow profiles are located. Under sum above system, here the SID, there you can see the shadow related file systems and everything here. So shadow binaries related things here, bin folder. In the bin folder, shadow related all the binaries, not only shadow, some related binaries. If you want to start the shadow system manually, if you want to disable the, if you want to reset the, lock the system, unlock the system, you can use the bin binaries. You can use it here, right? So main important thing bin, and so the system and exe kernel. These are the some important folders at operating system level here, right? So that is the some related log files, way to check it out here. Then profiles, and so some control files and everything will be there in the in this location itself only here. Okay. So that's about the sum tool, and this will run in the back end. So this will run it. Why? Because these are the long running pages. It will run, keep on running it in the back end here, right? You guys can progress the activities in the back end, so that's you can do it offline. So yeah, that's about the sum tool here, right? Anybody, any questions in the sum overview? Entire sum process. Any questions, anyone?
So what is DMO options actually?
DMO is the database migration. Suppose if you want to migrate the data for your database to one database to the HANA database, that time DMO we have to use it. DMO. Same sum only, sum tool only. So the DMO option will be enabled in the sum tool here.
Okay. But nothing changes, right? Like it's a
DB
normal
will be
thing.
changed from the your SQL server to HANA DB. some other databases to the HANA database will be migrated. Means database level data will be migrated. Then your SAP system will point to the HANA database.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that's it, sum tool. And coming to the pending